Hi, welcome to another episode of Adjusting Your Heart. I'm Doc AJ Chua, and today we're going to talk about 3 practical tips to manage anger. Last July 7, Tong Li was arrested by the officers. She's only 27, but she was caught on video bad-mouthing the traffic enforcers, and she hit a biker with an umbrella and also punched him in the face, and that caused injuries. So that's very sad. She was arrested. I'm not saying that she is a bad person. Probably she just did it out of fear, or I don't know. But the point is, anger, if we don't know how to control it, would have negative consequences. On her part, she was arrested. She might face a lawsuit and might even be deported. But for us, if we don't know how to control our anger, it would cause a lot of problems in our relationships because we might hurt the people that we truly love. So my first point is to control your tongue. Did you know that anger is usually a secondary emotion? The primary emotion is hurt, which means we're hurt. That's the reason why we get angry, but usually what people see is the angry side. And when we're angry, we want to lash out in anger. Whether verbally, we want to say things that hurt the other person back. Sometimes some people would raise their fist, or slap people, punch people. But all of those are not healthy ways to handle anger. So I hope that when we're angry, we have to learn to control our tongue. Let's refrain from saying things that would hurt other people. Let's not curse others when we're angry. Don't say bad words. Don't belittle them like saying that you're stupid, you're good for nothing. Because this kind of words would replay on their mind, even after you have already apologized or even years have gone by. Let me share with you a story to point that out. Before, there was a 4-year-old boy who was very hot-tempered. He often would throw tantrums. So in order to teach him a lesson, one day his dad asked him to come and showed him a hammer and a nail. So the dad told this boy that whenever he blows up again, he loses his temper, he had to get a hammer and a nail, and then he has to hammer this nail into their fence. So, and then the dad said, you have to come to me every day and report how many nails have you hammered into that fence. So the first day, the boy came and said, Dad, I hammered 27 nails into the fence. That means he got angry 27 times. And then the following day, it became 25, it became 23. It gradually decreased. You know why? Because for a 4-year-old boy, he realized that it's much, much easier to control his temper than to hammer a nail into the fence. So until one day, he was so happy. He told his dad, Dad, I didn't get angry today, so I didn't need to hammer any nail into the fence. And the dad said, okay, son, I'm very happy. I'm very proud of you. But let's go to the fence. So when they reached the fence, what the dad did was that he took out the nails one at a time. And then he asked the boy, Son, what did you see? He said, oh, there are a lot of holes in the fence. So the dad told him, whenever you say hurtful things to other people, when you hurt them, it leaves a hole in the hearts of other people. Even if you have apologized, the hole is already there. The scar is there. That's why I want you to learn how to control your temper. So my friends, remember, when you're angry, learn to control your tongue. And actually, I learned that the hard way. People think I'm a very patient person, but actually, it was gradually honed into me throughout the years. When I was still a teenager, I was not in good terms with my mom, but I thank God we're now close. That's because when I was still a teenager, my mom has a lot of good qualities, but one of them is not having good temper. She gets angry easily. And of course, being the eldest, I'm often the brunt of that anger. And she would, of course, scold me when I make mistakes. But being a teenager, I don't like that. So I'm allergic to my mom. I don't want to be around her. But I was forced to be with her a lot of time, especially after she had aneurysm. That aneurysm happened when my mom was only 45 years old and I was only 16. And being the eldest and the only daughter, I have two younger brothers, but of course I'm the daughter, so I'm the one tasked to take care of my mom, like to bathe her, to help her undress, dress her up. So my dad and I would help in doing this stuff. But you know what happened? It was a very difficult journey for everybody because after the aneurysm, my mom underwent 2 brain operations and she was in coma for 1.5 months. And when she woke up, she couldn't speak. She was half paralyzed and that made her more frustrated. But of course, I was young at that time. I was also not that patient with her. So whenever I'm trying to do something for her, and sometimes when she would shout at me, she would shout, but she can't say any words. She would say, something like that. Of course, I would also get angry and I would shout back, sad to say. Sometimes I walked out, sometimes I banged the door. All of these are very disrespectful, and I'm very sorry for that. A Christian book that I was reading at that time opened my eyes that what I'm doing was wrong. And that book was very proactive. It says, what are some of the things, okay, that you do when this person provokes you to anger? So I would say I would also shout back, walk out. And then the book very proactively asks, the next time around this happened, what can you do? So I thought about it and I said, okay, the next time around my mom shouts at me while I'm taking care of her, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to pray for patience in my heart. And true enough, that week, several times, this kind of scenarios happened. My mom shouting at me. Unfortunately, there were times when I failed. But because I was more aware, let's say, if before, when she provokes me, I would get angry all the time, it gradually dwindled until I was able, okay, to just keep quiet. And of course, when I keep quiet, of course my mom shouted, but when I keep quiet, eventually she would also quiet down. Okay, so we no longer have a shouting match. Because at that time, my prayer was, Lord, change her. She's hot-tempered, not me. But God wanted to change me first. And you know what? God also changed my mom. Eventually, she also became a Christian. And she is now a happier person. For those who have seen her, you would agree with me. So that's my number 1 point, is to control your tongue. My second point is calm yourself down. When faced with a very, very tense situation, learn to take deep breaths, deep breathing, okay, so that it will also calm your body down. Then also pray for patience, just like what I shared a while ago. And you know what? Memorizing Bible verses help in times like this. Like Proverbs 15:1 would says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but harsh word stirs up anger. So I would memorize verses like this so that whenever there's a provoking situation, the Holy Spirit will remind me of these verses and it will also calm me down. Another is to ask for time out. Let's say I'm angry with somebody. For it not to escalate, you can ask, can we have a time out? Can we just talk later? Then you agree when you will talk about it. Because you can't say that, oh, we're not going to talk about it ever. But you can say that, okay, we'll talk about it, okay, when both of us are cool, or maybe after an hour, after 3 hours. It's very important that you know how that the other person wants to be treated when he or she is angry. Some people, when they're angry, they want space. They want you to leave them alone. But for some people, they want to be pacified. They want you to make lambing to them, okay? And some people would want to resolve the problem immediately. So you have to know how the other party wants to do it. And another is to give people the benefit of the doubt, which means do not jump into conclusion. And that's what I talk about in our episode 2 on changing your perspective. For instance, right now, most of us are doing Zoom meetings, right? And let's say you entered into a Zoom meeting room and then you greeted somebody. You said, hi, and that person didn't greet you back. If you usually would say, he or she's so snobbish, how come he didn't greet me back? Next time I'm not gonna greet him. But what if you think, oh, maybe he's preoccupied, he's thinking about something, or maybe he didn't hear me. Then you won't get angry, right? Or for instance, your boyfriend or husband was late for your date. And you start getting angry because in your mind you're thinking, oh, he must have another woman. But instead, if you think, oh, he might be caught up in traffic, okay, maybe his boss asked him suddenly to do something, then you won't get angry. So changing your mindset helps a lot. And another way to calm ourselves down would be to vent out to a trusted friend or a counselor. Like it should be people that, of course, we trust, and people who are also objective enough to tell us if we're wrong. They can tell us face to face that, okay, you're wrong. Another is some people would like to dance, exercise, okay, they would play computer games, anything, okay, that would make them happy and in a way would also calm them down. Some people find it very effective to eat ice cream, okay, eat some sweets, or you could try writing in a journal, or some people it's effective that they write a letter to the person that they're angry with, like with all the feelings, oh, I'm so angry that you, but please do not mail the letter, just tear it, okay? Okay, then after writing, you just want to vent out and then you throw the letter away, okay? So that's my second point. My first point is you have to control your tongue. Second is to calm yourself down. My third point is confront in love. A lot of Asians don't like the word confrontation. They deemed it as negative. But actually, confrontation can help improve relationship if you do it the right way. The Bible says, speak the truth in love in Ephesians 4:15. Because as Asians, if we just sweep the problems under the rug, or we just use silent treatment, you don't want to talk to that person ever, it won't solve the problem. And the problem would escalate. Because issues after issues would pile up, and one day, one of you would explode. And it will be harder to save the relationship by then. So it will be good to learn how to confront in love. And speaking the truth in love, one tip is right timing. Do not confront when you're angry or when the other person is still angry. Do not confront when that person is tired, is hungry, busy, or sleepy. Then please remember to confront in private. Do not do this in public. Do not create a scene, especially now that everything can go viral. People can video you. We don't want to create a scene in public. And of course, it's very important that you prepare your speech so that you won't say words that would hurt that person. And I always teach people to use the sandwich style. What is the sandwich style? Sandwich, you have two pieces of bread and let's say one slice of ham, right? So you start with something positive, and then you go to the negative, to the one that you wanted to resolve, and then to the positive. Again, positive, negative, positive. So you start with something positive, like, I really appreciate you as my friend because you're very kind, you're very so-and-so. And then you're gonna go to the negative. When you're gonna go to the negative, you don't use but. Because when I use but, I said, you're very, very kind. And I said, but technically I erase all the good things I said in front. So a better word to use is and I would appreciate if you would, let's say, come on time next time. So then the way I phrase it, I use I statement. I felt bad when you shouted at me in front of so many people. So you can share how you feel, okay, what happened, but you use I statement. Because if you say, you're always like that, you're so impolite, you're so rude, the other person gets feels attacked and they get defensive. Why? Are you perfect? You also did that to me before. Then it's going to be a fight once again. So, but if you use I statement, oh, I felt bad when you did this, oh, that person will be, oh, okay. You're saying your feelings. So tendency, the person will just keep quiet and think about what you said. So positive, okay. And then you say that what you want to say, the negative. And then, even you're going to say the negative, do not put a lot of issues into it. You just stick to one issue, be specific. And we could always request the other party to change. But remember, our love should also be unconditional, whether it's to our spouse, our children, our friend. Like whether or not that we request that person to change, right? But if he or she doesn't change, we have to assure that person that we would still love them and we would still be friends with them. Because that's how relationship works. So in the end, you assure them of that. Okay? So let me illustrate. There was one time Hans and I had a fight. Actually, of course, a lot of you know Hans. He's a very kind person. He's very generous. He helps the poor. He has a lot of good qualities. But you know what? When I'm angry, it's so hard to think of the positive qualities. So that's why in my cell phone, I would have a list of his good qualities. That calms me down. Whenever I look at it, okay, I'm angry right now because of something he did, but he has a lot of good qualities. So I start with that. So once I'm calmed down and I need to really confront him, but I'm not the confrontative type. So usually I would just message him, whether through text or through PM. And I will use the sandwich style. Like I would start with, I'm happy that I'm married to a loving husband, a very thoughtful one, basta mga good points. And then, I'm gonna go to the negative. There was one time, what we fought again is that he forgot to text me. A very minor thing, right? Considering he already did a lot of good things to me. But for me, because my love language is words, that hurts me when he doesn't text the whole day. And sometimes he forgets because he's also very busy. So I get angry again. But this time, I use the sandwich style to confront him. Okay, I said, I'm very blessed, okay, to be married to you because you are a very kind and generous and loving husband. And that's my negative. I would appreciate it if you would text me at least 3 times a day, because that would make me feel that you remember me and that you still love me, because my love language is words. And in case there are things that you also want me to change, because I'm also not perfect, then you also tell me. But no matter what happens, I'm going to the positive already. But no matter what happens, I love you very much. Oh, that's it. So that's how we confront in love. You could, if it's very difficult for you to verbally tell it to that person, then you could just write a note or just text them. The important thing is to let them know so that this thing will be resolved. And let's say Hans has improved a lot ever since. So when he texts, I would, of course, reply and thank him for texting me. Okay? But I also, and for me not to get angry whenever he forgets again, I would have to remind myself, Hans' love language is not words. He shows his love to me in different ways. So that means I have to feel love whether or not he texts me back. So that's one way that we resolve our conflicts. Okay? So I hope that you will be able to practice on these tips. Again, what are the 3 practical ways to manage anger? 1 is to control your tongue. Number 2, okay, is to calm yourself down. Number 3 is to confront in love. And in case you want to talk to somebody, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Rosa Shao. She's a clinical psychologist, and she graciously gave me her number to share with all of you. She said she'll be happy to talk to anyone who needs a professional mental health worker. And right now, she's in the States visiting her children and grandchildren. Congratulations, Dr. Rosa Shao, for your new grandchild and coming soon grandchild. So you can Viber her and let her know, and you can set an appointment with her. And in case there are things that you want me to share in my future episodes, feel free to comment below, so that I would know what are your concerns, because I created this YouTube channel is really to help more people, and your concerns are my concerns. Okay, so please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.